Welcome to the recap of the Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week during the show season to discuss the latest episode. You can catch our episode reviews at any time, available on most podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. For those of you joining us live today, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am your host, Tamara, and I love a good TV show and a good book. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at The Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara. Hey, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. So if you would like to connect with me online, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Lisa Orban Author or at Indies United Pub.
So before we dive in, a few quick things. First, we want to hear from you. If you're live, use the YouTube comment section. If you're on the replay, you can still comment or use the SpeakPipe link in the show notes to leave us a voicemail. Second, please hit that subscribe button. Follow us so you never miss an episode. All of the links for both me and Lisa are in the show notes, so you can find us on our socials. And finally, but most importantly, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Oh, absolutely, Tamara. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Exactly. No scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around. And of course, huge spoiler alert for everything in the world through yesterday's episode. If you're cool with that, this is the place for you. And we should just jump right on in. Okay, Lisa, season finale. What'd you think?
It was a good episode, but it didn't feel like a season finale.
Do tell.
I don't know. It's just, I just kept thinking there's got to be one more, right? We miscalculated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I definitely feel like it didn't have that traditional finale kind of oomph behind it, because I guess all the stuff they've been doing this season has kind of had a little bit of action to it. So maybe this didn't feel any different than the rest.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we had action, we had things happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, they did actually kill the king. So, and the king, I guess would be the prince and the king.
Right.
So they got the whole royal court. So bully for them.
Yeah.
I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So we got 7 episodes this season versus the previous 2 seasons of 6. So, and you still wanted more. So should we have gotten 8?
Maybe.
Or 10?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, I at the very end of it, I'm like, okay, all right. So we should have one more episode, right? Yeah. Yeah, we should. There should be one more. There's not one more. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was the cliffhanger. Done. Okay. Well, for me, I guess it was a good episode. Did I think it was the best of the season? No, but it was entertaining enough, and they fit most of the things we wanted in there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Daryl did get, get his man or woman, I guess. And, so there was some, and we did find out about the kid. I guess that's why she didn't want to, the one girl that had been with the group didn't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
She had a son. But, so yeah, that would make sense. I was a little confused though about the whole picking process. Why did they take so many women, but, apparently they don't have that many slots? I don't know, because then the ones that aren't picked become slaves, essentially, I guess.
Yeah. So were there more than 4? So this photo I have were 4, but I couldn't remember if there were 5 or 4 women on the stage originally.
Well, there's 2. There were 2 left that they took off that were going to be that weren't picked.
So I think there were 5 on stage, because I feel like we saw 3 men pick.
Mm-hmm.
And she got the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Our character got the last one after she let down her hair and tried to flirt a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, then if they don't So that is interesting. If they only have 3 men available, why
Mhm.
take more girls?
Right. I mean, I guess they don't wanna say, "Oh, we don't need them now," because the whole thing's very much shrouded in secrecy.
Mhm.
Um, but it also begs the question, if they do this every year and they're getting, what, 5 to 7 girls,
Mhm.
um, there can't be that many eligible bachelors every year in the court. Not
Yeah.
every year.
Right, right.
Um, I don't know, that setup was just I was hoping for a little more clarity about it, I
Mhm.
guess,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but now we will never get it. It's kind of murky and it's gonna stay that way.
yeah, yeah. Because if they were taking even just say 5 girls every year for the last 10 years, I mean, that's 50 girls. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know there's always less men than women, so one year maybe 3, another year maybe 2, one year
Mhm.
maybe 1 or none. I can't believe they just have that many guys just around. Um, and like you said, we could tell that the one woman never left, the to be king because of the child, but we never got any indication that there was more than one wife or anything like that. So
Right.
what is the purpose of all these women?
Yeah. Well, and even at the camp, back when from last episode that, the girls were, the runaways, the ones that
Mhm,
had escaped. There were
mhm,
quite a few of them.
mhm.
The implication was a lot of the girls in that camp had escaped from Barcelona.
Right.
So, y why do they need so many?
I don't know, that's a good question. I would like to know that because this is basically human trafficking. So, I don't know. I don't see it any other way. So I just don't understand if they were trying to be, everything they were doing, if they felt it was on the up and up and the way to repopulate or whatever their excuse was, they did not need more women than they actually had men to pick from, you know?
Right.
So
I mean, it does seem
I
that
don't
the
know.
girls that weren't picked then became, I
Like,
guess, workers on the at the palace.
yes, who got like treated horribly.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? Send them back home.
And it's not like and the picking ceremony is you're put up on that, on that fountain, and people
Hmm.
have like 3 minutes to pick. You don't even know if you like this person.
Right. No courting, no nothing. No, let
Yeah.
me ask you 10 questions.
Yeah. They don't even know their
Yeah.
names. They're just,
No.
they grab one of the flowers. I'll pick this one.
Yeah.
So,
It was lackluster. I feel like it left some plot holes. I think the payoff of this moment wasn't the best, although I have to admit, like, some of the things about this rescue were cool, like the walkers that they used for the play.
yeah,
That
I
was
thought
fun.
I did, again, we're in the court of Louis the 16th. That was the Sun Court, I do believe.
Mhm.
And they very much brought back that whole let them eat cake feeling.
Mhm.
Um, they have you see, and honestly, France doesn't seem to be overall doing as bad as some of the places that we have seen because England is decimated. Um, you know, or I'm sorry, Spain. But France, was war torn, and Spain actually seems to be doing overall okay for all of its faults and the weird let's kidnap girls things.
Mhm.
There's no major wars between factions. They ha- a lot of their ways of life have are completely unchanged. Um, but it was, like I said, they're bringing back the Louis the 16th court thing going on here, and how everyone else can just kind of make do, and they're living very well in this court with all the china and the good food, and even the laughter and stuff at the play was
Mhm.
very, throwback to that Louis the 16th, you know, partying while the rest of the world suffered.
Mhm. Well, even how, Paz and Daryl were able to get in there seemed okay, so that seemed a little weak to me as well. Like they're just literally just gonna walk in there and put some mask on and nobody is notice them. That seems odd to me
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, I thought that was kinda strange too. Um,
Hell, he can't even speak Spanish.
I know. They handed a mask, they're just like, "Go do."
Yeah,
And I'm like, considering how high security it was in the last city they tried to get into, if it was gonna be that easy to get in,
right.
why didn't they just go to Barcelona to begin or go to it wasn't Barcelona,
No,
was it?
it's you mean where they are now, Soledad
Yeah,
Del Mar?
yeah.
So
Why didn't they
yeah.
just go there to begin with?
I don't know. That's a good question because they could have saved themselves a lot of heartache if it was just so easy. Just walk up in there.
Yeah,
And you would think it would be more security because they have their little supposed king there
yeah. You would
and the prince there. So why would you not have that place locked down?
I don't know,
And they're like,
because I
hey, who
didn't really
wants to
s
come?
I didn't really see a lot of security. Did you?
No, I didn't see people standing around with weapons like they probably should have been.
Right. I mean, and they let these people just jump onto a truck and go, "We'll work,"
Yeah. We'll
without
give you some
question.
food and stuff. Come on, let's go. Just
Yeah.
random people?
It was kind of weird. I mean, and maybe this is like a once a year thing because they're having a big party. I don't know, but it just did seem rather odd.
Yeah, which also leads me to believe that they are just very cocky with everything. There's just no way anyone would come and dare try to do anything here. Um,
Then again, up until Daryl walked in, they
they
hadn't.
hadn't. Yeah, they hadn't.
you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems odd, especially when the soldiers come back and they bring the girls and they're like, hey, this one girl was a troublemaker.
Mhm.
All this stuff happened. And, when what's his face comes back and says, hey, we were attacked and all of this, they should have been on lockdown.
They should
I'm
have.
sorry. Yeah, it doesn't quite work when you start as we do digging into the weeds of the story itself.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it struck I mean, I guess it was the final episode. They need they couldn't have spent the whole time just trying to figure out how to get into the place.
right. Which
Um,
is kind of what we said last time. We were
yeah,
like, how are they going to wrap this up so quickly? They have a lot of things to do with a short amount of time.
yeah. So, and I can't. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't. Is while watching it. I mean, I was. I wasn't bored,
Hmm.
but yeah, I was really hoping for a little more clarity. Once it, once they were in there, they had that moment um between Isab not Isabella, but what was her name?
Ooh.
The girl that they came to rescue.
Justina?
Justina. They had
Uh-huh.
that moment between Justina and the princess, and she's like, "No, no, here's the stress, it'll be fine," you
Yeah.
know, and Justina's staring out at the 2 girls that were cleaning, and she was kinda smiling down at them, and then, they got beaten up.
Hmm.
Um, and the princess is like, "Oh, no, you just, you don't understand," and I'm thinking, this would been a perfect time for her to explain the
Yeah.
situation and actually have it be natural, so it's not like a voiceover or, a weird space to put that information in. She could have said, "No, this is how things are done and why." And it
Yeah.
could have been a little 5-minute little thing to give us that clarity.
But the Walking Dead franchise as a whole has always been weak, kind of to me, on exposition and world building.
Yeah,
When it comes to the details, it's never really been all the way right.
yeah.
And those little things make a difference, especially when you feel like you wanna know the why of it, and a
Mhm.
little bit of exposition never hurt anybody. I mean, 60 seconds. She probably coulda summed that up pretty quickly.
Yeah. So this is the deal. So many girls are brought in, so, and they're picked, and this is why they do it or whatever. Just accept it.
Yeah,
And and then that would have been because you and I have discussed this all season. What are they doing with these girls?
right,
Why are they doing this?
right.
And why take because it was mentioned that they were only supposed to do this one time at the very beginning. So the
Yeah,
first round of girls, they were picked up and they're like, "No, we just need to do this one time, uh, to keep the royal bloodline going or something," whatever.
right.
It was the implication. But okay, but why have they been doing it ever since?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, are because here's the thing, I can't imagine it being that difficult to convince some younger girls to go and live a life of luxury where they never have to work again and have everything taken care of for them.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that, they're gonna get everyone, but you and I both know there are enough people out there that would go, it
No.
probably wouldn't be so bad to.
They well, see, this is also something that I'm unclear on because I thought we had, like, a working, I guess, theory that the girls that they were picking were younger, right? And
Mhm.
they aged out. But when I see these girls, I'm like, they all seem like they're about 18 years old. They all seem older. No one's younger.
Yeah, well,
So,
I think they're because the group of girls they had from, um, from what's her name's group, they were from what, like 14 to 18?
something like that. And I thought the girl that she had originally was upset about leaving, being taken, I thought she was younger, but
Yeah, she was like
maybe
14 or
not.
15.
Yeah.
Like I said, because I know that they had said that that would have been her last year to
Well,
be
I'm sorry.
picked.
That actress they picked does not look 15 years old.
Well,
Not even close. She looked 25 years old, maybe.
yeah, but I think the girls are supposed to be, like, between 15 and 18 or something like that.
Mm. Well, and then another aspect to this that's kind of questionable is so when they pick the girls, they're supposed to be theirs, right? They pick them, they're theirs. But yet when the walkers got loose, Justina says to the guy, "Take me with you."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" um, I didn't understand why she did that and why she just didn't run away.
Um, I don't think she knew that Daryl was there to come get her.
I'm sure, but I still would have ran for it. Why would I want to go with that guy?
I don't know, maybe she thought she'd be safer. I
With
don't
her
know.
knife up the sleeve. And okay, so again, look, Justina is, she tried. And I was excited when they gave her one kill. I said, oh, they actually let her kill something because this girl is the worst. Like she gets you have a weapon and it's taken from you almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like, what good are you? You can't do anything. And I'm like, oh, well, they let her kill one walker. Okay. So I guess she did do something, but
Yeah,
she
she did
just
some.
seems like, I don't know, so helpless a little bit, which
Yeah,
I
because
don't
if I
like.
had been her, I wouldn't have said, "Take me with you." I
No.
just would have ran.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would just ran my ass out of there. I have a weapon. I'm out.
Yeah,
But no.
but no.
Yeah, it was weird. I guess. I guess if that's what they want to do with her. It's almost a waste. I feel like it wasn't, the payoff wasn't, like I said earlier, I didn't feel like the payoff was worth all of the drama that led into this.
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't hate the episode,
Mhm.
but I was disappointed in it as being a season finale.
Yeah. So also at the Al Alcazar, I guess that's the name of the little castle they were out at. So also, Paz and Elena had their reunion, and of course, you mentioned that we found out about Elena's son, Guillermo. I don't know why I had like a tongue twister or something going on, but anyway, so he ends up getting killed.
Mhm.
But that also felt a little lackluster to me as well. I don't know. I feel like I was expecting him to be this really, really, really bad character, and he was only comically bad.
I mean, he was never really portrayed as, like, a strong guy.
Mm-mm.
He was strong because of the guys he had around him.
Mhm.
He himself never really did anything to say that he was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Um, he was just someone who used power to be powerful.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I was a little surprised though because I had the way that they had talked about him, I thought he was the king. And it
Oh,
turns
yeah.
out, that he was just the prince, that he would
Right.
eventually become the king.
Right. Yeah, but I like the scene. I like when they killed him.
Yeah,
That was refreshing. I knew he would have to die in order for Elena to leave with Boz. So that was fine. That kind of came to fruition as I kind of expected it to. Daryl also got Justina and the other girl, so he escaped with her and freed everyone else like we thought he would
yeah.
do. All the other girls.
Now, I did think it was kind of interesting that they decided to take all the girls back to the safe house, which I kinda get, but now that the court is dead and everyone in it is pretty much gone, why not take them back to their villages?
Maybe they'll make their way there on their own.
Mm,
Because we know, like, for example, Paz and Elena, they are not going back, they're not going back to that town
yeah,
of Solas del Mar, but they're going on their own path, right? So
mhm,
I'm gonna assume that the other girls will somehow get back to where they belong as well.
yeah. Well, because they just said they were gonna take them all back to the safe house.
Yeah, but that's probably just a temporary thing. I gotta believe. Although we probably will never see these girls again. They're
No,
done. They're off the page now.
yeah, they're away.
Mhm. 'Cause, like, why just keep them there? I gotta assume that they're gonna go back to where they belong eventually. They'll get there.
Well, technically, a lot of the reason why that safe house exists is to keep them safe from the king, and if the king is dead, most of them
Then
could probably go home.
yeah, absolutely. And,
Then again, they might
since
choose not to because the town did give them up. So,
but, they all think that there was no choice, right? So they're
yeah,
gonna be like, "Oh, my family didn't want me to go, but they had no choice." So they'll go back.
yeah.
Most of them will go back probably.
I gotta
So
tell you I gotta tell you, the thing that really upset me the most, the ship captain's two boyfriends,
oh,
both dead.
yeah,
I was really upset about that for her.
yeah.
Dude, why both? Why do they have to kill both of them? She was so happy, you know?
Look, everyone can't be happy in this world. Apparently, no one can be happy.
I know, but they could have at least left her one.
I know. I thought that was interesting that she sent them both with Carol,
Yeah, me too.
but, I guess she thought they would be able to handle it.
Well,
She
they
thought wrong.
yeah. I mean, and it was yeah. She almost died too.
Mhm.
So, and I'm kinda surprised she decided to stay in the lighthouse by herself with them both gone and not get on the boat with, everyone else, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. So let's talk about Carol and her little rescue attempt of, Antonio. I knew that wasn't gonna work out. I mean, it worked out, but it didn't work out for Carol specifically. Again, Daryl comes in and saves them, as I was expecting.
Mhm.
But I'm like, "Okay, she's gonna go sneak in, sneak him out," and I don't know, I just felt like that was such a it wasn't thought through,
Well,
and
she wanted to go in there and get him before, while everyone was still there.
Yeah.
Um,
They're holding her back like, "Wait, what are you doing? You can't just run out there."
well, and yeah, I don't know. There could have been a better plan.
Yeah, like, give yourself, I don't know, 30 minutes to think of a plan instead of being so hot-headed. I mean, I feel like she had the time. She had enough time to sit there and talk, to Roberto about his dad, right? I don't know, I just felt like her plan was half-baked,
Yeah.
and only because she has plot armor is the reason why she's not dead.
Well, and even part of it too is, when they did come out and everyone was supposedly gone, she took the time to go, "Hi." Why didn't she just run up and just let him out?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
That
That
this isn't a
Yeah,
time for hi. This is a time for, "Oh god, let's get you down."
right. We're not having a conversation right now.
Right. The
Yeah.
conversation can come later.
Mhm. Yeah, and he was pretty, after being hung up there, and he's pretty weak, and it seemed like it was almost impossible for him to walk almost at
Mhm.
first. It was, like, not a good situation. I don't know, I just didn't love that rescue attempt. I feel like it was kinda clunky. And
Mhm.
again, Daryl to the rescue. He comes in, of course, and I'm like, he's on his way there, so you just have to wait it out.
Yeah.
Um, and he'll be there to help you out of your mess, which he did. But I gotta say that scene in itself, though, the way that Fede kind of like tricked them into going out there,
Mhm.
and with the walkers they set loose on them, I think that was like a unique way to try to kill them.
Yeah.
That scene was kind of interesting visually to see. And I'm like, oh, they don't even have any weapons. Oh no. But in my mind, I'm like, we just gotta wait for Daryl to show up.
Right. Well, and then the one the one girl did throw down a knife to Carol,
She did.
but it got shot away.
Yep. Somebody tried to help.
Yep.
Yeah, but I thought that scene was good, predictable but good. But what wasn't predictable to me is that both Roberto and Justina made it alive out of this episode.
I know. I was waiting for one of them to die.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't think Roberta was gonna make it out.
Mm-mm.
I really didn't.
Well, I still think that one of them is gonna die. There's more time next season for one of them to be offed.
Yeah.
Um, 'Cause I just can't imagine they're gonna get this happily ever after. I can't imagine. I don't know. They are good if they make it, then Antonio's gonna die. One of the 3 of them is gonna die.
Yeah. Somebody's dying.
Yeah.
And well, and then they bring back the character from last season.
Yeah, and, like, the final like, that last end part, I'm like, "How in the hell did this guy find?" I mean, he didn't find them yet, but he just happened to land himself in the same spot. Like, Coudron, I don't know how he did that. That
Well,
doesn't seem to make sense.
because we saw him earlier, and he saw the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, okay. So now he knows that Daryl is somewhere, more than likely. I mean, I or then again, I mean, someone else, I suppose, could have put a
So
Rubik's Cube there. Um, but
but
as
you
he
remember where he was, right, when he got separated from them.
Yeah,
He was at that border in between France and England,
yeah.
the tunnel thing. So how in the hell did he end up in Spain?
Well, he obviously didn't make it to England. He turned around and
I
went back.
know, but it just seems weird. They better explain that in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, my guess is he went back. He didn't go forward. But
What are the chances though? Like that is such a huge country. The border is so big. We don't know. It, that's him going west versus east,
yeah,
and that just seems so unlikely, unreal. They didn't have breadcrumbs to follow.
right. I th- I think they're gonna make it just happenstance. He wasn't actively looking for them.
He just happened to come here and, oh, look, here you are.
He was on his way to Barcelona.
Oh, a side note.
I don't know.
So Carol's gonna have 2 boyfriends now?
Oh, I don't know.
Last season I said, "Oh, Carol and Cadrone, maybe,
Maybe.
maybe," and now I'm like, "Oh, Carol and Antonio." What?
Yeah, but Carol and Catrone never really, I mean,
No.
they were nice, but they weren't.
No, nothing actually happened, like, with
Yeah.
Antonio, nothing happened, but I guess I was rooting for something for Carol, and she got it this season with someone else, but I'm curious to see, like, what that rapport is gonna be when, they come across each other again, all of
Yeah.
them.
Well, now here's a question because we saw him stop and kind of look at the boat on fire. Is he going to go to investigate or just go, "No, I'm moving on?" You know?
I I'd like to think he might go check it out. It's odd to see a boat on fire,
Yeah.
you know? Which, speaking of the boat, I said they weren't getting on that boat.
Yeah, I know. I really, I thought they would let them get on the boat, but something bad happened again or something.
Uh-huh. No boat. You're stuck
Well,
here.
yeah, they're starting to run out of ways to get back to the U.S. I mean, just saying. And we never got a real big payoff on the whole thing with Daryl and these flashbacks.
No, we didn't get that either. Not really. I think what resulted in that was, I guess, him telling Carol about his need to just keep moving, right?
Yeah, but
But
that
that
doesn't
wasn't,
really
yeah, it was
that
weak.
it was weak. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
we've had these flashbacks all season,
Right.
and we still really hadn't seen much more than we had seen. It was the same flashback essentially.
Right.
We weren't getting any more information. So if that's the end of it, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah. So maybe that will continue into next season. Maybe being that he's finally kind of identifying one of his issues.
Yeah.
And now he's openly said he kind of has a fear that, they'll get home and he'll want to leave again.
Yeah.
Um, but I would like to see, I wanted it tied up this season. I wanted to know what change what happened because of those flashbacks and nothing right now.
Right.
So that was kind of another loose end.
Mhm.
But I don't know. They're gonna be still trying to get home. Cadrone's gonna be reintroduced to them. Who knows who the bad guy is gonna be next season? I don't know how and the when they're gonna address Daryl and his feelings about whatever.
And how are they planning, because we had a plane, there was a boat a couple times. Now this boat's gone. They're gonna have to go back by if they're ever gonna get back, it has to be by boat. But now I'm kind of wondering
Maybe they don't go back.
maybe they don't go back.
Maybe they have a new family.
Mhm.
That would kinda suck. I think the fans would be very upset.
Yeah. I wanna see the 2 of them go home. I really do.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe they're just setting us up for him and Carol to finally come to terms with the fact that they can't go back and they need to stop running.
Mhm.
And I guess, I mean, honestly, of all the places they've been, Spain would probably be the nicest.
Mhm.
Although now that they've killed the king, God only knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I don't
I mean, they
know.
did kinda keep some kind of order.
Mhm.
Hey, Daryl could hey, Carol could be queen again.
Oh, no. No, no. None of that.
No Queen Carol? Oh, come on.
No,
You
none of
know?
that. No. Carol's trying to get out of there. She wants none of that.
I
Mm-mm.
know.
And I don't
Yes.
want that for her. She wasn't good at it.
No, it's true. But she was. I mean, she was a queen for a while.
Yeah, she was. And she tried to run away from it. So
Fair.
that's that. um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot happened, but not a lot happened. So we essentially had 2 missions, right, which we
Mhm.
talked through, and then the climax, and that's it, with a lot of open plot holes kind of still.
Yeah. I
Um
mean, Ferdo or Faraday or whatever his name was, he got called out
Mhm.
and then put in jail,
Yes.
and then his mama let him out,
Of course.
of course.
Ugh,
And why would they even let her go down there alone to feed him? I mean,
because
come
they're
on.
stupid. Like,
Estúpido.
why would you let the mother go down there and talk with his smooth jive talking liar son? Of course
Right.
she's gonna let him out.
So, and I wonder who's gonna be the ruler there. I mean, because really there wasn't any other person that we met throughout the entire thing that would be a good leader for those people.
They don't need a ruler. They need a council or something.
Well, yeah, something, but
They don't
and
need one
apparently there's
ruler.
really not that many people there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it anymore. I thought there were more at one point,
Me too.
but of course they did have that whole thing with the attack, when fire walkers were shot at them. So maybe they lost some people and really didn't show it.
I don't know because every time they had like the people get together, there was like what, 20 people? Most of them older.
So again, this is a reoccurring issue on this show. We always question how many people are there.
Yeah.
This is a reoccurring theme over and over. Is it 20 people or 50 people or 10? What is it?
Well, the because here's the thing: if they have to give a girl
Mhm.
every year,
Mhm.
all right, that's a lot of girls to begin
Who's
with.
birthing these babies and growing
Yeah,
up? Like, who?
because
Where?
I didn't really. Well, because weirdly, when we first, okay, so when everyone kind of first, when they first walked through, we saw a lot
Mhm.
of kids.
Mhm.
But in this last episode, when they're supposed to have like everyone there, and I got to thinking about, we haven't seen a single kid in in this show since that first introduction to the city. And that first
Right.
introduction to the city seemed to show 100 or more people there.
Mhm.
But then towards, the last of it, we see like 20.
Mhm.
And there's no
Yeah.
young girls. There's just the one. I didn't even really notice any of the other girls that were supposed to be picked. Did you?
No, I didn't.
So where are all
Uh-uh.
these people? Yeah,
Maybe they're hiding in the houses?
maybe.
I guess. It
So
is
I don't know.
weird. It's strange.
I mean, come on, guys, just spring for the extras.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
need the extras. Yeah, it's odd. Like, always, though, with these shows, it's the same stuff over and over again. We have the same reoccurring issues every season, no matter the show.
Yeah. Well, because again, like I said, when we first walked, when Carol and Daryl first walked into that city, we saw kids like young kids playing soccer and a full marketplace and
Mhm.
lots of people milling around
Mhm.
and we saw like 20 people come in for um Roberto's being strung up.
Mhm.
And he's like, I want all the people to come and see this.
Right.
Well, where are all the people? Where are all the
Hiding
kids?
because they scared of you. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Where are all the kids? Where's the marketplace? Because we haven't seen any of that since then.
Mhm.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it is, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. I wonder if they're gonna stay there next season. When we start next season, if they are going to be in the same town
No.
because, Fede is gone,
Mhm.
and I don't know, maybe they'll help them figure out what to do next before they get into their next misadventure, I guess, maybe?
Maybe. But again, we know that the next season is the show's last season.
It is, yeah, and I wonder if it's gonna be 7 episodes again.
So if they start off in that same town, I mean, they really
I
have no way back.
Look, I honestly don't think okay, so if they hypothetically send them back to America, I think it's gonna be one of these things where we see them depart on whatever vessel they are able to find, and it's left up to us to guess if they make it back or not. We're
I
not
don't know.
gonna actually see them back in
Yeah.
America. That's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. I can't see how. How could they do that in 6 or 7 episodes?
Yeah. And I don't really like that. They could have again, they could have had him sailing off into the sunset or into the morning light, whatever. It so so they could have started next season with, you know, them on their way back.
Yep. Nope. I think they're gonna record again right where they are because it's cheaper. And so that also leads me to them not going back at all. So I think 1 or 2 things are gonna happen. They're either not gonna go back, they're gonna decide to start their life there with their new family,
Mhm.
or, like I said, we're in the last episode, they're gonna find some random mode of transportation that should get them back, and we'll just see them then go off into the sunset, whether it's in a plane or a boat.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the end of it.
You know, and honestly, they could have just they could have sent them to Mexico. They could have landed in Mexico. And
Mhm.
the architecture would have been similar to that of Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, they just need to get them to the continent,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, they could have spent more time in Mexico, but I guess since Fear already spent time in Mexico, they didn't wanna do that probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just saying they could have stayed in Spain and said it was Mexico.
Mhm. They could've. I don't
Similar
know.
architecture, similar language. Most Americans aren't gonna notice the difference. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish I kinda could see what their end game is here. I just have this strange feeling we're all gonna be disappointed with it.
Yeah. I mean, I really did overall like this season. I did.
Mhm.
I just for a finale, it didn't stick the landing as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, I think that I like this season better than season 1. Um, it's about neck and neck with season 2. I don't know, I just it overall, it was a decent season.
Mhm.
I just wish, like you, that they had stuck the landing a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. It was fine. It was a fine enough finale. Will I remember the finale next year? No. Okay, Karina says 8 episodes final season.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks. Um, so we get 1 more. So maybe they have a little bit more bandwidth to do, um, something else, but I don't know. I doubt it. 8 seasons, unless they throw a couple of longer episodes in there, we're not gonna be satisfied. I cannot imagine they're gonna do the right thing. When have these writers, with exception of the Rick and Michonne spinoff, done things that the fans have been actually happy about?
True. I don't know, maybe they'll find a plane.
I don't know. And then you gotta figure out how to fly that mug. I mean, you can't just learn overnight. It's probably easier to learn how to sail than to fly a plane,
It is. I would ima well,
especially
probably,
like a
yeah.
single engine plane. It's not like you can just set auto and go.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
I don't know.
know.
I don't know. I wish I had more faith in the writers.
Yeah. They've let us down so much that we're just kinda like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
We expect the worst. We expect
I'm
the
on
worst.
this train wreck to see where it ends, not to see if it's good.
No, because
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, like, no lie, like, generally speaking, I think we're past if it's good.
Right. We're just committed to the ride.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being held hostage a little bit.
Stockholm syndrome a little.
Yeah, it must be like that because for some reason I won't get off the ride. I don't know.
We're very close to the end though, because again, this will be the final season of Daryl Dixon. Um, there's one more season for Dead City,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's, as far as I know, the end.
Well, I think I heard some people kind of talking about more spinoffs.
Okay.
Nothing's been solidified, I don't think, but I feel like I saw some chatter about that online. I don't know who it would be or what it could be.
Yeah.
I know people really, really want to see Daryl and Rick reunite at some point.
And
And
again, we could
yeah,
have that at the end of season 3. You know, if we could just get Daryl and Carol back to the United States, and we could have in that final episode their reunion, and it would be glorious, and everyone
of
would be
of
happy.
this show or of Dead City.
This show.
Oh,
In the final episode of Daryl Dixon, they can have Carol and Daryl walking through, the city walls and,
well,
you know
okay, so it probably could happen if they did a time jump. It could happen.
mm,
It would have to be probably some weeks worth for them to get back, and then
yeah.
bam, we're home. Surprise! Everyone
We
rejoice
made it.
and reunion. Yay!
Yeah.
It could happen, but I'm not hopeful. I don't think they'll give us what we want. Not for a
Oceanside
while.
acci Oceanside accidentally sent a ship over to Spain and ran into Carol and Daryl.
Oh, the fiasco of that.
Well, we know that Oceanside did have they did have a fishing boat,
Mhm.
but yeah.
Oh, what if they find a cruise ship and the captain's like, "Everyone get on the cruise ship. Let's go. We're all leaving."
Oh, dude. Cruise cruise ships are so big, and they need so many people to run. I mean,
I know.
eh,
They'd have to teach every single person what to do.
the engine room alone.
I know. I'm just kind of being ridiculous about it.
Maybe a barge.
Maybe.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
a barge can be handled by a small crew.
Can it? I don't know much
Yeah.
about barges.
Yeah. They could be I think you can run a barge on as few as probably 5, 6 people.
Mhm. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. With this finale, we got at least someone had a happy ending. Paz and Elena had a happy ending.
Yeah.
And, Justina and Roberto had a happy ending because they're back together.
Yes.
And the rest is all up to, what the writers decide to do with them next season.
I mean, and we still have, Carol and is it
Antonio.
Roberto?
Antonio.
Antonio. I
Mhm.
mean, they're together, so, that's nice.
Yeah, and Antonio has his son back, so he's happy.
Yeah, so
So, yeah, they had some happy things happen, so I guess. I don't know, it was fine. If
and
I
they
had
ate
to
their hot dogs, so, the hot
They
dogs are gone.
did. They ate the hot dogs. So, I think if I were to rate this episode out of 10, this would probably be like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, probably. I would agree with that.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst ever, but definitely not the best.
No. Like I said, I mean, it was a good if it wasn't the finale, it would have been I would have rated it higher,
Mhm.
but as a finale, it just didn't sit right.
Mhm.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just seemed kinda lackluster for a season finale.
Well, because they made us think that all the stakes were super high,
Mhm.
and they really weren't. Not in that way, because
Yeah.
they just killed all the bad people. Okay, next.
Yeah.
No big losses, not really. So, yeah, the captain lost her men, but
And I felt really bad for her about that.
yeah,
And I was like I said, I was expecting at least Roberto, or Justine to die. One or the other.
right.
Um, because I don't know. Yeah.
Justina would have been the perfect person to die because, like I said, she's almost useless
Mhm.
in this world, and she would have been the perfect person to die. All it took was one of those walkers to bite her from the
Yeah.
stage. It'd
I'm
been,
I'm just gonna point out her and Roberto both are pretty worthless.
yeah.
I mean, they have a small set of skills, but not a good set of skills.
No, who knows? Maybe next season when we find them when we come back to them, they would have had some training time in with Daryl, and they are refreshed
Yes.
and ready to do battle kind of characters, hardened a little bit, still together, but maybe just a little more capable.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. If they're going to be around for another season, do
Mhm.
something. Don't have to keep getting rescued.
Right.
Don't do stupid things like crash cars and get knives taken from you. I don't know.
Go on picnics while you're trying to run away.
Yeah, those kind of things. I don't know. Be a little smarter, I
Yeah.
guess. But we'll see. Since they made it out, maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll get a refreshed version of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I got. I feel like there wasn't much more. Again, the episode in itself was really simple. 2 missions,
Mhm.
both missions accomplished
Mhm.
and done.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Let us know what you thought of this season finale. Were there things that you loved, didn't love? How would you rate it? Are you excited for the final season? Tell us all the things. Leave us comments. And don't forget to subscribe before you go. You want to get that notification when we're back. And who knows, we might come back sooner for something else, but you want to be in the loop so you know if we do. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening to the entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.